Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch, your host here on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Welcome back to another installment of Bodybuilding Daily, where we talk about all things hot topic and trending in the world of bodybuilding. Quickly, I did want to be completely transparent with you guys. I genuinely appreciate everyone who stopped by and watched the videos, especially these Bodybuilding Daily ones that we're posting every day, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But the subscribers are a little bit down this week. We're about down 20% compared to last week, but the views are up 20%. So I don't know how to feel about that. If you're new here, consider subscribing. But let's go ahead and start talking about the first story here, and that's going to be Martin Fitzwater. And lucky for us, Martin has been very transparent on his Instagram page. Of course, moving us into kind of like a sales tunnel into his YouTube, which absolutely respect, great hustle, great grind. But he's been sharing a lot of really high intensity, hardcore looking training, Texas style training, as he trains out of, I believe it's Dallas, right? And with this training footage, you also get to see a little insight into how he trains and some of his philosophy. Definitely bringing some of that Branch Warren-esque training styles into his training videos. But I did want to highlight his training record or his competing record from last year, because I was looking at the videos as I was putting this together for him, and good gosh, did he look impressive. I forgot how impressive he looked at the at last year's Arnold Classic UK, where he placed fourth. It was a good lineup. You had Patrick Johnson placing second, Andrew Jack winning that one, and then James Hollingshead debatably beating him out just a little bit on pure mass. But he did place second at the Texas Pro, which I thought was a really good showing from him, where he got beat out again by Andrew Jack. So to think that the only person that beat him in that lineup is debatably a future Mr. Olympia once Andrew figures out the posing and the conditioning. I mean, this guy, you think about Andrew, this was his pro debut was in 2022, where actually no, he won his pro card in 2022, and then he came into his pro shows. So crazy to think of the potential for both Martin and Andrew Jack, but I did want to give Martin a quick plug. Moving right into Nick Walker, we have a fun little banter at the end, so make sure you stay tuned to that. But Nick Walker doing some more variety volume training with his girlfriend, and I think it's kind of fun to see. Typically, you don't see people of Nick Walker's caliber mixing up their training styles or training philosophy. Nick's a big, slow, heavy looking guy with the training, and then also physically, he's a big, bulky fella. And he's also short, but it's compact, But it's nice to see, and also it's nice to see more content getting shot on the regular, where he doesn't really have to pay for a camera guy. So not that he's hurting for money, but a win's a win. But also some physique updates sharing from Nick Walker. And we're looking at about 5 weeks out. We're just creeping in on 5 weeks out. He says in this most recent post with these photos, new week, same goal. Two-time champion is the only thing on my mind, with 7 exclamation points, and also stating he's 263 this morning. I think that is a phenomenal weight. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on Nick Walker as he's prepping for his return to the Arnold Classic after taking last year off. Of course, the question is going to be him versus Samson Dauda. Now, you think about the back shots, and I'll make sure I put in this this back double bicep of both of them compared together. And as we look at this, this really is going to be probably the conversation you're going to see debatably for the 1 and 2 here, as we are 5 weeks out from the 2023 Arnold Classic. And there has been plenty of banter saying Samson's going to be moving up in placings and potentially beating Nick Walker at this upcoming Arnold Classic. Now, I'm not saying it isn't possible, but I think Nick looks probably some of the best he's ever looked. But in the same hand, he looks like he's almost 100%. Samson Dauda also is leaving no table unturned or no stone. I can't remember the saying. You guys will let me know down below. I'm a silly goose when it comes to metaphors, but they're both coming in debatably 100%. And my question is, if both of them are coming in at their debatable all-time best, from what we've ever seen, it's going to be even better than that. How are the judges going to score the 2023 Arnold Classic? Now, if we use last year's judging criteria, it's not going to be a conditioning game. It's not even going to be a factor. I'll just say you had Brandon Curry. I know I've bashed him enough. You had Brandon Curry come in not sharp, and he was able to beat out a very dialed in William Bonac, minus or par the gyno issue, which he had corrected. If you take that into account, that condition isn't going to be a factor. You're going to think it's going to be about the shape and the flow and the thickness. And I mean, just looking at this picture, even looking at like the zoomed out parts on the side, the detail that Samson has is so impressive. It almost looks very comparable. I'd say Nick Walker has better arms, but then Samson probably has better triceps almost. The back, the rhomboids, the traps are comparable. The midsections from the back look very comparable because Nick has such dominant looking legs, and he really lets them flare to accentuate that X taper. And Samson does the same thing. So it's going to be a very interesting competition between these two. And that's not even coming into the factor that Big Ramy is making his appearance at the Arnold Classic this year as well. So you can't even count that guy out. Regardless if the recent stem cell treatment that he's undergone to help with some of his issues, if it fixes anything this quick, I don't know. To get stem cells therapy to fix, a left tricep that's 2 inches smaller, visibly smaller, and then also a completely vacant lower back. I don't think stem cells fix that in 9 weeks. Of course, you guys can let me know if you guys are stem cell professionals, but in my opinion, I don't think that that's enough time for it to fix it. But of course, please let me know your thoughts, as this is the people's voice in bodybuilding. We want to hear your thoughts, of course, in the comment sections below. And also, moving into the last conversation for today's video, I did want to give a spotlight to a women's competitor, and I actually have an interview with her in my archives from the Olympia, so I'll make sure I dig that out, and I will post that I'll post that this afternoon once this video is posted, as I'll have a little bit of free time to get that out for you, ladies and gentlemen. But we have Emilija, Emilija Martic, out of Canada land. I was able to have the pleasure of talking with her, like I said, at the Olympia at the Ballistic. I think it's this really cool orange supplement company. I like the colors. Anywho, she was at the booth. I just ran into her randomly, and I remembered her because one of the very first women-only shows that we covered was the Vancouver Island Pro Showdown, I think is the name of it. Really cool show. Corey Swinger, I believe, does out of Canadian land. But I also wanted to highlight, that's the first time we saw her. She placed second at that show, and she also placed second at the Toronto Super Show last year. So 2 back-to-back second place finishes in the women's physique division. Correct me if I'm wrong. Women's physique division. And also, I'll put this little side-by-side comparison for you, ladies and gentlemen. The 2 photos on the right are from 2017. She had quite a large gap in her competitive history, or biography, however you want to say it. and those were 4th place finishes. So to think that, she made such large improvements from 4th to 2nd, it was quite a large span of time, but she wasn't competing during that time. So it's kind of like a freebie, if you will. But anywho, I wanted to give her a plug. She has a really cool Instagram, a little bit different than what you typically see. She does like motorcycle posing, and she's got a cool dog, and we always love dogs here. So just wanted to plug everyone here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit longer than we traditionally do here for Bodybuilding Daily, but I hope you do enjoy the daily uploads here on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I'm your host, Josh Sanch. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Send me your stories on Instagram, and I'll make sure I tag you if I do feature it in an upcoming episode. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.